fabulous. Because I've been working on this all day. It's working. It's working. Okay. I don't see the tree. Hello, hello. And I'm not even getting echo. Well, now I'm getting echo, but I can turn the echo down. This is fabulous. Okay. Because I've been working on this all day. Okay, I can turn the echo down. It's on. Okay, at least you can see me. I don't know where the tree is. The tree can call me on the telephone if the tree is listening. And then now I can put this, tell you that it's actually on. So I'm going to type this in.
Hi, the tree is here. Hello?
The tree is here. Yes. We are on. Yay!
Alita, my friend dropped the car off. I'm borrowing for tomorrow, and she had to show me the idiosyncrasies of how to get it started.
Oh, okay. Does she have one of those cars where you can throw the keys in the back seat and not use them?
No, not that fun.
Okay.
That's my car. That's my car.
Okay, your old car. And then
yes.
My car has its own idiosyncrasies when it's not parked in the back, not moving. We are.
My car is known as the bearing that wouldn't die. It's a 1981 AMC Spirit.
It is. It is.
Yes, it is. Okay.
We are live. I'm putting this on the tape, and then I'm going to. This is the only good part of the day.
Yes. Oh, well, considering I have cold water and I didn't have a flush toilet for a while, that was also a good part of the day.
Yeah. Do you have hot water now?
Not yet. I'm more interested in frankly, I'm more interested in indoor plumbing. Oh, and I finally got the cat out from under the house at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Hey, what happened to the cat? I know which cat.
Well, when Michael was going under the house, the cat, the oldest cat who's supposed to know better, went under there, and he would see the light from the floor heater, so he would stand under the grating for the floor heater and howl, and we're trying to get him to come over to where the crawl space is. So finally, about 6 o'clock in the morning, Michael went outside and shone a flashlight through the vents so he would know to come to the light. Come to the light, Vladimir. So he finally, I'm standing there, so we finally got our dusty cat who spent the better part of the night, and then the first thing he did was go to a dish. So I'm moving him and his dish into the bathroom so I can clean him off.
Sure he did. I'm sure he went to the. Yeah. I mean, you looked at the dish for the cat box, or else
he spent the whole night under the house without constant snacking.
You can.
He's elderly. He's elderly. He needs these extra things.
I've met him before.
I know.
We used to sleep together on not in that sort of way, but we used to sleep together on the chair.
Yeah.
It's an old chair that's worth if it was redone, because
he's a very good teddy bear.
I remember well, because I used to get half the chair because he had to have half the chair. He had no sense whatsoever of size. I'm more than the same size as him. I'm little, but I'm not that little. I'm not the smallest cat.
He's a cat. They're higher life forms.
I have a couple here that I'm not saying them, and I just turned my head, which is really horrible because I have a double chin. I don't have no double chin on me. There's nothing. The amount of starvation I've done over the years, I better not have that. Okay, now we get to talk about the most wonderful part of the day, which is not
you,
and is really, really
58 to 43.
I don't want to think about it. I don't believe it.
I was watching mostly how many problems there were.
How many problems?
I mean, they're talking about problems in the polling places, things not working. There were all kinds of problems. I think one headline for the New York Daily News is "Bungled New York primary voting brings Board of Elections probe." Now, I don't know anything about the New York Daily News, but
I posted it. Not the best, but
So there are problems.
It's not a left-wing bias at all. It's more the other way, and so. It's not biased towards Bernie Sanders. Sorry, my nose runs all the time these days.
So does mine.
Instead of just the whole time I'm going to just wipe my nose with a Kleenex.
Oh, happy day! Trump won by major whatever.
This is really strange for New York. I mean, I'm thinking it's probably upstate that did it, and Long Island and stuff like that. Because when we think of New York, we think of Manhattan.
At least Kasich, the guy from Ohio, seemed like he's doing a little. Well, I don't know. What am I saying? He got 3 delegates to 89.
Yeah, 3 delegates, and he's the only one that's actually worth bothering with. Or Kasich, I don't know how to pronounce it. And There's my cat.
Oh, I see. Is that the back of your cat? I see.
Yeah, probably. I don't know which one it is. I'm not going to turn around so I don't look like I have a double chin. That's just, I'm
You look
neurotic.
fine.
about
I love.
No,
I
I
like your cats.
Yeah, I look good today. I look good today. I couldn't believe it. And so when I look good, I can't get the stream to work. But okay, we got the stream to
No, the
work.
stream is working. Part of it, I had to crawl around and get my microphone plugged
I'm
in
hoping
correctly.
that I'm not, because I can hear me.
I can hear. I tested it on my phone.
So it's not got an echo.
No, you're fine. I don't hear an echo. You don't hear an echo. You and the tree are here again.
Because I really hate it when I pull up with the echo. And okay, I should announce that I am Edie. I am the fearless leader of Punks for Bernie. I'm really fearless. That is true. I'm
Yes,
also
you are.
I'm completely fearless. I'm really radical. That's a cat that moved in many ways, especially politically. And I actually put my money where my mouth is and my body where my mouth is. It sometimes causes trouble, but not always. And I think right now we are at a point where we're going to need to do that. And anyway, the tree is Jamie. She's on your list, Punks for Bernie too. And when I figure out how to make her my co-leader, I will, because a lot of times I feel really, really guilty about not being able to show up because I'm in bed, because something hurts that shouldn't be hurting. It hurts a lot. It's usually my head. But that's not interesting. Eventually, I'll make a tape about what's actually wrong with me so you can understand why I'm out or I'm absent. I don't have anything like psychosomatic or anything. I take about 14 pills a day to keep me alive. And some of it's pain meds. A lot of it's pain meds. But not all of it by any means. I've got to keep everything in line. Anyway, I am not whiny or neglectful. I just really feel bad a lot, really bad, and so I can't concentrate, and so that's why I'm not always here. But that's me. My name is Edie. Everybody, a lot of people that know me in life and haven't seen me in a while because I was sick. So and have been. I'm better now, or else you wouldn't be seeing me at all. I've got red hair, which I actually like better than the blonde hair, but I'll let it go back to blonde once it's actually hair again and not straw. It's just I couldn't keep dyeing it or bleaching it. Not that matters, but I figure that people who haven't seen me in a while, or who are used to seeing me as with blonde hair, or who don't understand that sickliness has been a part of my life since birth, I figure I should explain a little bit about why I'm not there. I'm here now. I'm here now, so we can talk to me this way. If anyone wants to join this and hang out, since no one's watching but me or Jamie, I don't know who's watching. It says one. I doubt that anyone wants to join me in hangouts. But what I'm interested in doing, the weller I can stay. I'm going to the doctor tomorrow to see if they can change my meds around so I can stay a little bit weller. The weller I can stay, the more likely it is that I will put together something for Punks for Bernie. We already have our email account, which I haven't done anything with but make, and I'll put together a channel for us on YouTube, so and on Hangouts, which is the easiest way to actually have a lot of people join a conversation. And we want to do it like at least 2 or 3 times a week. I was hoping every day. That's probably a dream for me, because me being awake every day and at the same time is what I'm working towards, but it's not always there. It'll have to be at night because I'm better at night. This light that you see on me, which I am kind of enjoying because it's interesting, it's just my makeup mirror. I can move it around, but I like it a lot, so I'll just change it. That is an introduction to me, because I think that most people here, or because I'm going to edit this for the group, don't know me, and so now you do. I'm an old punk rocker for sure. I was the first punk rocker at UCLA I ever saw. So I am a lot older than I look. And I knew Darby Crash. Darby Crash is a friend of mine. Most of my friends are dead. So if you want punk rock credentials, I got them. Here, it's a germs burned, and I've had it since 1978 or 9. I don't know. And I'm not one of the oldest people. I'm one of the youngest, but I'm for real. People always, there's a real We had to prove our realness then. It's even worse now because people try and join it that aren't from them. But no, I'm from there and I'm real. Makeup's a wonderful thing. This isn't surgery. It's genetics and makeup. Anyway, I think I'm avoiding talking about the topic that is mostly on my mind and probably on everyone in my group's mind today and lots of other people beside is, Jamie, what did you say that it was? Because I can't look at it anymore.
Okay, hang on, let me look. It was Clinton 57.6%, and then Sanders 42.4%. And they say the delegates for her is 129, delegates for him are 98.
Well, at least the delegates. That's a really interesting cut. Wait, well, 129 and 98, that's not proportionate, is it? Just 60 to 40?
They have the actual numbers there, how many votes that so far, and it's say it'd be like 40 something to 60. I don't know how they even do the delegates, honestly. I don't know if this includes super delegates. I've got to do some more looking. Okay.
I don't think the super delegates are assigned until a convention. Then they get to choose. What I don't like and what I don't believe, and I really don't believe it, is that she could trounce him in New York. And partly it's because, I lived with two New Yorkers most of my life, one or the other, my father and Robbie, who were very different politically and very similar otherwise. My father had less of a conscience. Robbie had more of an addiction business going on. But they were as hardcore obsessed with New York as anyone. And these are people who hadn't been to New York in decades. Or if they had, it was for a funeral or a concert, they're playing a gig. And so they might be there for that, but they didn't live here. They lived in LA, just like me. My father lived here for 35 years,
I think when somebody identifies themselves as a New Yorker, that never changes. It's like New York is its own special culture.
It is. And so she's such a carpetbagger.
Yeah.
That they would see that. And Robbie was from Syracuse, for goodness sake. He wasn't from, Manhattan. Leo's my father. Yeah. Leo was from the Bronx. I mean, he was from Manhattan, and his whole family was. And we lived there when I was a little kid, and I know that. And I remember New York really well. I have a lot of relatives there. No way. They would all see her as someone that was an opportunist that came to their city or their state, rather, in order to be a senator, just to have something. Her graspiness, there's the cat.
Yeah.
Her interest in grasping, is really unattractive. Now, I wouldn't say that about a man or a woman, because it is what I think about it. There's something...
You can say something's an unattractive quality in a man.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I'm always very careful because you can't say, like, she's shrill. She's extraordinarily shrill. I would say that if she was a guy with a high voice and was always, screaming and intensely entitled, her entitlement is the problem. And I cannot see the entire state of New York not recognizing that she feels entitled to everything. I mean, I see it. There were enormous rallies for him in New York. Now, I don't. It's probably is broken down, but I haven't seen it because it upsets me too much. But I'd like to know which counties went for him and which for her.
Okay.
Because I would think that Manhattan would go for him, because I can see Long Island going for her. They're not very bright. I could see them going for. I mean, I don't want to, categorize a whole group of people as not very bright, but there's a lot more people who are less in tune with current culture, I guess. They're more in tune with trying to look like Kim Kardashian than that would be in Manhattan. The whole Kardashian-Jenner fetish is so bizarre to me. But I can see people like that who identify with the rich, because that's all the Jenners and Kardashians are. Without the money, they are not attractive. Well, the Jenners probably are because their mother is, but the Kardashians I've seen before the surgeries.
Well, what you're saying is it's a class issue.
Yes, it's a class issue.
Yeah.
If you identify with the Kardashian class, even if you make $20,000 a year, then you're going to understand. You're going to like.
It says here. I was looking around. It said New York primaries complaint hotline volume 4 times higher than in 2012.
There you go. She has some kind of influence over polling places. I don't know what it is, but I will predict this if he continues, and I really do hope he does. If he doesn't, he's my write-in candidate for the primary. He's my write-in candidate in November, and I will start a group for people who are willing to write him in. Because he should, as much as I like Ralph Nader, which is not at all, it's just, this thumbnail needs to be clipped, and I like him less than the clipping I'm going to take off of it. I do wish that Bernie Sanders would run as a third-party candidate. I'm not that afraid of Trump. I do not think they're going to run Trump. I don't think they're going to run Cruz. I think the Republican Party is in shambles. It's in ashes. They don't know who to run. They have nobody. They may just nominate someone at the convention. Perhaps it's Kasich. Perhaps it's Paul Ryan. Nobody is going to make Paul Ryan, who has been, whose name has been thrown around. He's now Speaker of the House. It's like making an 11-year-old Speaker of the House. An 11-year-old who's obsessed with bodybuilding Speaker of the House. No one's going to vote for Paul Ryan. And so the Republicans, they're in real trouble. However, as I've read over and over, and it's correct, people, shush, I'm doing something else. There's a cat behind me that wants something. You can see it. Yeah, if I move this way, you can see it even better. But I can't do it right now. If they run Hillary Clinton, a lot of people in the Republican Party, she is going to be, I've read this, she's going to be the revitalization of the Republican Party because so many people hate her. She cannot win, I do not think, a general election. Even if they run Trump, I don't think she can win it. What do you think?
This has been such a weird election, and while you were talking, I was looking for one of these maps, and it's. I almost have no clue what would happen, but I think more people. It's a question of which do people dislike more. One thing I was looking at this map for the state of New York, and it seems like the areas where she won were only like, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like a few small counties if you're looking at the map and the colors. But I think she won in some areas that were very densely populated.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah. And this map, The Guardian, they have a map saying, just showing, who's winning in the different areas of the state. Like he actually, where upstate New York? He won in upstate New York.
Wow.
There's more of him in upstate New York. Like, let's see. He was. Give me a county. I'll try to.
Onondaga. That's a
county. St. Lawrence, Franklin. I'm gonna work my way down. Essex, Hamilton, Warren, Saratoga, Washington. Let's see. There's Albany.
Yes, that will do.
Okay.
That's upstate.
In Albany, he won 52-47.
Oh, goodness. Because there's, the manufacturing jobs and stuff. Go on.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think what you almost have to do that's new. You almost have to go look at the map because when you put the cursor over, you can tell which county it is.
Right.
So it seems like it seems like there are areas where he did better in many areas. However, let's see, where is it? She's winning. Erie County, she won. Monroe, Onondaga.
That's what I did.
Orange, I don't know those correctly. Rockland, Westchester, she did really well. Now, she won in the city of New York, down the island of Manhattan. She's won there. Right. But the rest of the state, it's like these small areas. You should check The Guardian because they have this map where you can see what what?
I'm going to
Yeah.
do that. So you talk for a while and I pull it up.
Okay. Yeah. It's interesting to just go pick a county and just to see that, in many of these counties, he is coming out ahead. And it's just that these small areas, which look like heavily, like here we've got she won in, let's see, what one is that? That's, I'm trying to tell what state that is. It looks like, I think this is in Suffolk and Nassau.
Suffolk,
Yeah.
These are all rich areas, or have a lot.
The part down at the end, it looks like, I don't think that's really an island, but it looks almost like an island. And I think also, there's one little area around, well, looks like a little corner of Jefferson County, but no, that's not. No, I think that's a lake. Okay, Great Lakes. But there's a whole.
I could see her winning a lake.
Yeah.
I don't trust her.
There's a whole bunch of. The interesting thing is that there's a whole bunch of areas where she's actually doing, or he's actually doing really well. Now, it isn't even like if you look down at the Republicans, Trump just really kind of he sort of has kind of just rolled over the state.
And she won. Oh goodness, he won almost the whole state.
Yes, he did. But she got she won these small areas, and I don't know. It's been a long time since I've been, and I've only mostly been in New York City. It looks like these are small areas where he's these small areas that are very heavily populated. I'm trying to figure out, because the state of New York, different counties better.
It's because she won Manhattan.
Yeah.
And Manhattan, the most populated thing of all, and all these little tiny rich areas, Westchester, and he won almost the entire state.
Yeah.
Oh, this is strange. This is really strange.
Even if she's listed as the winner, when you look at it by and large, like even at where she won in Erie County, they're pretty much there was only a difference of 300 votes. I mean,
this is not.
Yeah.
This is because this is somehow she's got a hold of New York City.
Well, Manhattan, I guess.
I don't believe it.
I don't know.
Maybe Manhattan.
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe, vote irregularities. Maybe Manhattan. Maybe Manhattan.
Yeah.
I can't see it.
I don't know. It surprised me. But, is it possible name recognition and connections because she was a senator there?
I guess she represented the whole state. I guess so. I mean,
she must
it could be vagina voting. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
If there's something about her winning in Manhattan where the most heart, well, that's what it is. I guess if it's legit, my guess is what it is hupsters and carpetbaggers themselves, people who came to New York because it's New York, who aren't from New York, who don't have the kind of attachment to New York State or New York City, especially the actual New Yorkers have, because there's no way that she's going to win against third or fourth generation New Yorkers. They're not going to want her. And also,
I think also Manhattan, because of the incredible cost of living in the city, most of the people you and I would know, like my friend Donna, she's in New Jersey. Most of the people I know have had to move out of New York. So the people in New York may be the smallest, kind of wealthiest, hipsterous area. I mean, it's not the New York we knew in the 70s or 80s.
I know. You're right. That's what it is.
Sadly, it is not our grandparents' New York.
No, it's not even our parents' New York. It's not. It's not the Cedar Bar.
This or that is not your grandmother's whatever. Anyway.
Yeah.
And this is definitely the case because I think that New York City is not what we think of as New York City.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's what it is because it really surprised me.
But it looks. But when you look at it, he's winning the areas where she won. They're not by big margins. The area where he won, he's got pretty good. I mean, he's got some pretty big margins. It's like upstate New York voted for him.
I know. Almost all of New York voted for him.
Yeah.
And when you actually look at the state map, everything that's not rich voted for Bernie Sanders. Everything.
Yeah.
Every single place except for this one county. This thing is, this is, I can't see what it is. There's this little cartoon of Hillary Clinton.
Yeah. They have the winning person has a cartoon.
Yeah, Erie County, that's a very strange place. Well, she barely won by any margin. They made because that's 50.2 to 49.8. They might have recount that, and And Monroe, I don't know. You've actually hit a county I don't know anything about. Onondaga surprises me. That's where Robbie's from. I know, yeah, that's where Robbie is from. And, well, maybe, I don't know. You know, she won there, which is, I know, well, there's the university is over there. Syracuse University is over there, but there's a whole bunch of people. And I know from him, I mean, he's dead. He died in 2012, for anyone who might be watching this. I know from what he said about it is that there's a combination of, he was really poor growing up, and he was really poor when he died, actually. But he was fairly rich in between. And so I know that there is a real fight between rich people and poor people in Onondaga, in Syracuse, because he's from, you know, the wrong side of the tracks. And that was a place that really had serious divisions of tracks. That's probably why he, at first, you know, the college people there would have made fun of people like Robbie at first. And then when he made a lot of money, of course, they would have not, because I think that is one of the reasons that you've got her winning in Onondaga. But Manhattan would be the the carpetbaggers themselves, like Forest Boy, who lived next door before he started renting out my old apartment as a Airbnb. You have people like that. They're gonna vote for Bernie Sanders. He's gonna take away their sense of self, which is based upon, you know, how much money they have, and things like that, and who they are and how important they are. They're not going to vote for Bernie Sanders. People who are concerned about their own self-importance don't want a revolution for the poor. Why would they? You know, that would mean that somebody that, you know, isn't as, quotes, air quotes, they made that up. Well, no, I think it was made up by somebody more interesting than that. You know, they wouldn't want somebody worse than themselves to have any sort of better life. Why should they? You know, they can do it. You know, but they also want to pretend to be liberal, like the guy at the taco stand. If you would like to, I want to refresh my lipstick. Would you like to explain the guy at the taco stand? I'll cut in after you do it.
Okay, well, you can add to this. I was going to say we were at our neighborhood burrito and taco place, and we were getting some food. And I'd say I'm over 60, so will we call her elderly?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Elderly woman, could be my contemporary. And she was probably schizophrenic.
Yes.
And in front of us is this, like, you know, hipster guy, the shorts, the dark glasses, the whole shebang. So he's getting food, and she keeps sticking her head in, and she wants, she wanted something to eat. And for some reason, she wasn't quite coming across too well, because she was obviously, you know, harmless but schizophrenic. And
she was very crazy.
Yeah, you finally entered the conversation, just told the guy, you know, said what she just wanted to get something. The hipster guy was going to buy her something just to make her go away. And finally, at some point, he turns around and he says to her, "Go back where you came from." Or why don't you go back? Yeah, it was like this jaw-dropping. Is that close?
Did you mention that she was Chinese? Because she was Chinese.
Yeah. She was an elderly Chinese woman and very schizophrenic.
Yeah. She was going into garbage cans and stuff. And she was completely out of control. And she was, you know, like fighting with, she fought with me, who is like trying to help her get what she wanted.
But I miss places where you order at a window. You get your food at a window.
Yeah, and they have a barbecue that's next to the window where they cook chicken and stuff. And I thought that she wanted the barbecue, and so I just started trying to talk to the guy at the window, trying to get her just some barbecue and just get her. She was $1 short in many ways, but she was $1 short, you know, for money to buy whatever she wanted. And so I just tried to do it. And finally, she got really, really agitated and angry. I said, "You want me to call the cops?" Because I knew what the cops would do. I did not think they were going to prone her and kill her. If I did, I would never have thought of it. But what I thought they would do is, you know, move her on. You know, she would have moved on if cops came by. But the guy, he was quintessential hipster. He was working on some sort of film that was filming up the street. He wanted his food really, really fast. And he was wearing like the identical beard. You cannot find a hipster that does not have the same beard. They all do. And if you do find one, I mean, it's so insane. It's like like you call them the Smith convention of the Smith brothers, but it's like a convention of the Smith brother because they all have this, you know, the short, same beard. It's just insane. Please, people, there are other ways to wear your hair. And I remember when Rover, this is from a long time ago, tried to get me to chop all my hair off. And this is an early punk rock, and she wanted me to cut off all my hair, which was I don't know, longer than this, black, I think, or purple, I don't remember. And I wouldn't do it, but it's like the hipsters have taken this one wretched key from punk rock, wretched thing, and it's like they all have to, only they put it on the bottom of their face. At any rate, this guy was this quintessential hipster you know will complain about online or, you know, to his people about, you know, racism, sexism, et cetera, et cetera. And he came out with the most racist thing in the whole world that he possibly could have. Why don't you go back where you came from? It was hysterical. You know,
I think it was like time for everyone to start having the jaws hit the pavement.
It was an instructive moment. You know, it was a teaching moment, like you say, by accident.
Yeah.
And that was that. And they will vote for her. They will pretend to vote for him. What would they get out of voting for him? You know, they have health insurance. They have college education.
They want the status quo.
Yeah. I mean, they can tell their friends are voting for him, and they even go to the marches and the rallies. But in the long run, they don't want that because they'll have to actually pay a little bit extra for people that aren't him. You know, they have to actually pay for people that aren't able to take care of themselves, and they don't care about that. Why don't they take care of themselves? I mean, these are the kind of people who would say to somebody like, I don't know, why don't you get a job? Yeah, she can't get a job, and she can't go back to China because who knows if she's even born in China. You know, the likelihood is she was born in Los Angeles or Santa Fe or something. Or I'm meaning that's where I salute, but I mean, San Jose is what I actually meant to say. You know, she's probably American. There was a crazy comment, and I've seen this kind of thing before. You know, they're not interested in people who aren't like them. And I can see them vote for Hillary Clinton. I can't see them vote for Donald Trump. That's a little bit much because they have a lot of, well, they're interested in finger flicking for sex. And when you do that, you know, a lot of them are bi, I think, because it's trendy. I mean, people can do all sorts of things because it's trendy. My father was a communist because it was trendy. He stuck to it, which was less trendy. But I remember that from being a little kid and hearing a lot of his stories that I've told.
Didn't you say that he voted for Gus Hall even after he died?
No, he didn't do that. He wasn't that nutty. He did vote for Gus Hall often, though. He did vote for Gus Hall. And my parents would do this. I remember this from when I was a little kid. If somebody was running on the Democratic ticket, they hated Hubert Humphrey. I was a little kid. I was like 4 years old, 3 years old when Hubert Humphrey was running. And if somebody was voting for Hubert Humphrey, one of them would vote for the horrible Democrat, and the other one would vote for somebody like in Peace and Freedom. They did that all the time. Or Gus Hall. I know he voted for Gus Hall. I cannot remember when. And I know he did it more than once. That was his candidate. And so the interesting thing about my father was that he stuck to, you know, his rather leftist guns most of his life. And these people are probably going to be, they're the quintessential bi-curious. You know, if it wasn't trendy, if what we did now, if the next thing that we did now was tell people the trendy thing to do is to look really, really ordinary and do really, really ordinary things and go to church, and all the trendy people started doing it, they would do it. They have no, you know, they have no souls. They're not interesting enough to have created a personality of their own. But they are, you know, if you're a status seeker, you're not going to vote for Bernie Sanders. How could you? He's as unstatus seeking as it could possibly be. Unfortunately, these people also do not care what's in her speeches to, like, Goldman Sachs or, you know, Lehman Brothers or whoever they're worried about now, because they have their money with Goldman Sachs and Lehman Brothers. I mean, my money is probably with somebody like that. Not that I have very much, and I don't understand who it's with anymore. I used to know. I don't know now. It's a bunch of stuff. And it's a little bit of what I live off of. It's supposedly going to fix my teeth, and who knows? It's not very much money. And so I should be voting against him because he would like to diversify banks or break up the banks or give money from the people who have a lot, which is not me. He wouldn't mess with my money, I don't think. Or even if he did, I would still vote for him. If I still had a lot of money, there's no reason for anyone to have 40 cars. There's no reason for it. There's no reason for Kim Kardashian, who everybody is so...
Park 40 cars in some of the areas we've lived?
Well, they don't have to live there. They have garages for their 40 cars. I mean, they could actually own an entire storage space building to stick their cars in. And, I mean, I remember Chris Burden's Big Job. This was my favorite thing he ever did.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. I remember once I was living in Venice, and I had one car. It was probably my RX-7 or whatever it was. It was one of those kind of sports things. And I had to park it really far from the Ellison. In the Ellison again. And this homeless guy who was really crazy wanted to talk to me. And so I talked to him for a little bit, but then he wanted more than to talk to me, if I make sense. And I remember that I was parked past, you know, the Rose Cafe, past the ice cream store. I can't remember what it was called. And so I ended up having to run home, and he ran all the way past after me. It was really, I wasn't that scared of him. I was a little bit scared of him. He was a big guy, and, but he was skitsy, you know, and I was exhausted. I didn't have the patience anymore. But no, they don't have to run away from skitsy people. On the other hand, I wouldn't have had to do that if we had decent mental health care, which we don't. And if we elect Hillary Clinton, the best thing that could happen is his speech, Bernie Sanders talking about revolution will become a real revolution. If they can finally make me well, I'll lead that revolution or be one of the leaders, because I cannot take the status quo until I die. I'm not going to live forever. I'm obviously not. And she is one more piece of continuation of the 1980s, which gave us the ruination of all the arts. And, you know, as it says, I always mention this because I think I have to. You know, my title of my channel is The Girl with the 200 IQ, and I am the girl with the 200 IQ. I named it that specific thing because that's how I grew up. That was my calling card. It wasn't anything I wanted. Pardon?
I said, and I am the talking tree.
Yes, yeah. I mean, all I was going to say is my 200 IQ was been completely useless because it's all in you know, arts. And if you're good at arts, the arts, which I'm good at, you know, it's all I'm good at. It's all I'm good for. And you've lived through all these last 30 years where art is nothing. It's been turned into nothing. It's been turned into one more cog in the machine of status. I would really like to use that for once, for 5 minutes before I, you know, die. That's all. That's all I meant. I'd rather be a talking tree, but you know,
it has its
we
moments.
all get what we get. Yeah, you know, I told somebody once that I'd rather been born thin, and it's true. I mean, the amount of time I've spent thinning myself down so I don't look like the rest of my family is my whole life. And so I did it, but you know, it's kind of stupid. And you know, we've turned into a world where even interesting people do stupid things. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know, it's like when you're living in a society, no matter how little you want that society to brush off on you, no matter how little you want to intake of it, you have no choice but to take in some. You know, and I took in the superficiality of having a striking appearance. Now, I don't want to look like Kardashian Jenner by any means. That's not my thing. I think they look entirely like money. They don't look like people anymore. They look like they are made out of money. It's really strange to me. Because I mentioned this because I watch all these makeup videos because I didn't remember how to put on makeup, which I remember now. I'm very grateful for them because I do remember now, and I couldn't do it. Um, and there, too many of them are trying to look like a Kardashian. And I'm thinking, why? What do you want to bother with this for? There's so many other interesting things to do. At least I haven't swallowed that. But with Hillary Clinton as the president, it's just more continuation of the status quo, of identical thought, of, you know, my mother despised to an incredible extent the bourgeoisie, even more than I do. She thought some of the things that I did were terribly bourgeois, like, you know, getting my hair done, or wearing fancy clothes, or, you know, all sorts of things like that. The visual things that I do, she thought they were very bourgeois. She couldn't understand why I would want to do them. And it took me a long time to realize that was true, that they weren't just trying to punish me, but that they believed in, especially my mother really truly believed in this kind of stuff, because they were folkies. And, you know, think of what Joyce Johnson wrote about being a pre-beat, and that's what my parents were. And they're kind of that. I guess they were kind of beat. And then they thought they were respectable and ordinary, and they never were. They were incredibly weird for parents. And but where was I going with this? Do you know? I was talking about the bourgeoisie.
Yeah, I kind of went along for the ride, and I've lost track. It's a good.
Yeah, me too. I mean,
it's been a good journey.
I'm terrible. I don't want any more. My mother, I said I was talking about, and my mother despised status seeking. She said, she called it people who want nothing more than money, power, and prestige. And if you wanted to describe the person who has now won the New York primary with any words about desire, they would be money, power, and prestige, I think. Would you go with that?
Yeah, I would go with that.
Yeah, I would go with that.
You know, what else does Hillary Clinton want? She wants, I wouldn't put it in that order. She wants power, she wants prestige, and then she wants money. If she could be the president, the first woman president, I mean, all you have to do is, you know, make a few cuts and stick that on Bernie Sanders. Yeah, she's got tons of money. She made from one speech to Goldman Sachs as much as Bernie Sanders and his wife made in a year. And, you know, I'll tell you, for people in upstate New York, his releasing his taxes like that, and showing that there's nothing in them that anybody would care about. I mean, they made less money than my mother made before she died in a year, half of it, in fact. And my mother died in 1993. So no, they're not making a lot of money. It's just basic middle class. And I think that impressed the people upstate. But for people who are also status seekers, it's not impressive. Why would they want someone who has so little when it's important to have so much?
Yeah. Yeah.
Am I making sense?
Yeah, you're making good sense.
I probably should, you know, we know the results now. We know that it was a very sad and terrible fight. We know that it's very likely that at least some of these places, voter fraud is responsible for what happened. And we won't know more about that until probably next week. It'll take some time. The last thing I wanted to say.
I was going to say, when you think about how many of the elections have been contested, it's kind of,
I think it'll be contested, this one too.
yeah.
And I don't know, however, if there's anything that we can get. We might get Onondaga County. We might, because it doesn't make any sense that all of a sudden Onondaga amid all these upstate New York counties wants Hillary Clinton. And Erie County is very weird too. I think we might get those. We're not going to get one, you know, the stuff at the bottom, Manhattan. We're not going to get that. We're not going to get Westchester. But we couldn't have expected to get Westchester in the first place. It's too rich. It's like, is Beverly Hills going to vote for Bernie Sanders? No. We're not going to get New York because of this. If you look at it as far as human beings and what they need, we got New York. All you have to do is look at it. We won almost as much as Donald Trump. Donald Trump, I believe, won every single county in New York. Did you see that?
Something, I don't know what it says. And I don't know if it's good, but
good, but
Well, to me at least, it says that we should have the same people who are interested in Trump, if they're left-leaning, are interested in Bernie Sanders. It
Yeah.
says to me that Bernie Sanders
Yeah.
should have swept New York the same way, actually.
yes.
yeah.
But
Well, I think when you actually look at the, if you look at that map,
if you look at that map,
he got most of it.
he got
But
most
she
of
got
it.
very
Yeah.
rich,
He got
tinier,
rich,
more dense
tinier,
county.
dense town.
she got rich areas that are near or in Manhattan. She got areas where they don't care, apparently, anymore. Well, I mean, the chorus boy went from Minnesota to here, decided he was a Silver Lakean. Ugh, this is dreadful downtown Silver Lake, the gentrification capital of the states, where I live, and made this web series about Silver Lake. And then he moved to Manhattan. I'm sure he's a pure New Yorker now. But people like that don't care if you're really from New York at all. And so he won them. But when you live upstate, people don't just move to Binghamton, where Skip's from. They don't just kind of show up there and live there the rest of it. Those are the people that he won, are people who are from New York and will live there. He's winning the working class vote. I would be very careful about her winning the black vote in South Carolina and places like that. I personally don't believe she's won that much of the black vote. I think that since she couldn't win the vagina vote, and vaginas were going to, as I am right now, speak out against the fact that she didn't get my vote, I think it's less likely that she could fiddle with that, the black vote, because they're less likely to speak out. And the article I posted to Punks for Bernie is really interesting about that. Speaking of fiddling, may I do this finally? I have made this tape over and over and over, and I'm just going to do this at the end of this one. I think everyone should be very, very careful about how they're registered. Speaking of fiddling with votes, you know what's coming, so you don't even have to listen. I re-registered to vote because I was adamant that I wanted to vote for Bernie Sanders, and so I re-registered to vote on Rock the Vote. Because I did it for Robbie because he was interested deeply in free college education. So I moved, and so I just changed addresses and made sure that I was registered as a Democrat because Bernie Sanders was running as a Democrat. I'm usually not. I'm usually registered as nothing. And Jamie, did you hear about people like Demi Moore and all the other actors and actresses and stuff that decided they were going to pick their party independent, and they didn't understand that it was a far right-wing party. They thought they were voting.
I heard of the American Independent Party.
They didn't understand it.
Yeah, because of my family, I wouldn't know what the American Independent Party is.
I didn't know what it was. I don't know if I've ever registered independent because I have answered surveys and said I was an independent because I didn't know.
Well, you can be an independent or an undecided. It has to do with it has to do with how you're listed.
I know they picked independent. I didn't do that this time because I knew exactly who I was going to vote for since he announced. So I picked, and he was announcing as a Democrat. I knew what I was going to vote for. I knew I was voting. I got this card in the mail saying that I was registered as no party preference. I knew I wasn't registered as no party preference because I made an effort to not register that way. This is how I normally register, but I didn't. And I did this last year. There was no question. I did this last year. I did it online at Rock the Vote because in honor of Robbie, who died in August of 2012. And so when I got this card, it told me that I needed to return it by Friday, March 18th, if I wanted to change parties, which I did. And except I couldn't return it by March 18th because I didn't get it by March 18th. So I got it late. And the only reason I saw it, as it was dumped in with a bunch of flyers and circulars for like grocery stores and stuff, is because I needed to buy a mattress and it was stuck to the mattress ad, or else I've never seen it at all. So I re-registered on the regular California voting site as a Democrat. I went over there and did that. The only thing that came up was that I was registered on, I re-registered on March 27th, which is the day I did, as no party preference. So I have to check it some more. I called them, and you're no party preference. Well, I wasn't registered as no party preference. I was registered as a Democrat. So there's that. Somehow, I think Rock the Vote registrations are being screwed around with by probably the DNC. That is my guess. And my guess is also that if somebody who was not used to voting got a hold of one of these cards, it showed up late, it said you're voting no party preference, they may not know that you can still vote as a Democrat if you're no party preference, and may just not vote. I think it's a really terrible thing, and I don't think most people know about it. Now, you know how to follow a ballot if you think you're getting a provisional. Tell us about that.
Oh, well, also, I want to say we put a bunch of links on the site so you can check what state you're in. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, about a provisional ballot. When I was a poll worker, usually you have one person assigned to do the provisional ballots, and you can ask for a provisional ballot if you're at the wrong part, if you go to the wrong polling place, or something is wrong. You can fill this out. And usually, I think the last time I did it was some pink envelope. They give you this paper flyer when you after you vote provisionally. Sorry, I get some echo here. That has a number you can call and check on the status of your provisional ballot.
And so you can follow it through to make sure that
this
it's
was in
counted.
LA County. I don't know what's different in different places.
I think it's probably true everywhere. And I can't imagine that all of a sudden in LA County, it's the only place you can follow a provisional ballot that they've made some.
Yeah. But I just meant it may be different. As much as possible locally.
Yeah, you're getting a lot of echo. We should probably get done. I hope it's not echoing here, but on yours I can hear it.
I don't get it on your side.
Okay. Yeah, I turned everything off, so there shouldn't be any. I think it's really important for people to know that if you are stuck voting no party preference, even when you've registered as a Democrat, which I did, and I'm really infuriated about this, and I think that will account for also some more voter fraud in favor of Hillary Clinton. I really do not think that Bernie Sanders is clean. He's as clean as I am, which people who don't know me, I'm real moral and I don't do bad things to people. And he's not going to do this. All of this stuff is done for Hillary Clinton. I think that people should know if they get a card that says they're voting you're voting no party preference, that you can still vote as a Democrat. You can get at worst a provisional ballot, and you can get a receipt for that ballot. And with that, follow your ballot to make sure it has been counted. Is that correct?
Yeah, you should follow it because I think that it's important to make sure the thing gets counted.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I think when all is said and done, when it's all over, when it's all over, we're gonna really have to. We're gonna see a lot of voter fraud, and we are going to have had an election where voter fraud and irregularities and polling place problems, i.e. Bill Clinton coming in, and while he's not wearing a Hillary button, because you can't wear that, he's glad handing people inside polling places, which, you know, this kind of stuff should disqualify a candidate, frankly, but they can't. You know, I mean, they should throw the president out because he's not allowed to poll inside. He's not allowed to campaign inside a polling place. But, you know, how can you throw an ex-president out, especially one? It's not going to happen. So
politely and with moderate force.
Yeah, no, I know. I would do it. I mean, you can't have a woman do it at all, because if it's a woman, it doesn't matter what she looks like. Age doesn't matter. You know, he's going to come on to whoever that is.
That's
And
okay. It doesn't take that long to get
Yeah.
to the
Not
door.
that long to get to the door.
yeah, I mean, very funny. You know, assign women to throw Bill Clinton out. He will. He since his priorities are a little strange. You know, maybe you can distract him, but he should not be inside the polling place. It's not appropriate to have. I know at least some of the things, as I've said so many times, that she has on him, and to be able to treat him like an intern, she has more than even I know. And let's see, we should probably end. What was the other thing I was talking about? Oh, and the other tape I'm going to make, and I will finish it because I probably not today, but soon. Because my hair looks passable, my lipstick looks passable. I don't look good, mind you, but passable I can tolerate. I mean, if you've been as sick as I have and you get passable, you're thrilled. The other tape I'm going to make, and I've been working on it, has something to do with the University of California and other universities and how much money they are giving Hillary Clinton and who is it coming from. Because the University of California has put out a paper saying that they can't and don't give donations to candidates. At the same time, as we know, the University of California, as is written like that, is the sixth largest donor to Hillary Clinton's campaign. And while it's an extremely large university system, I do not believe that the associate professors and the janitorial staff and people who work in the bookstore and the people who work in the cafeteria like I used to do are giving, you know, or lab assistants like I used to be, or even as PA2s or 4s, they're not giving their money to Hillary Clinton. There's no reason to give their money to Hillary Clinton. And all of a sudden, the University of California is one of her largest donors. I'm actually trying to dig that through because I think it's a scandal in the making that no one's found. Anything to say?
I think you've covered it
I
all.
think you've covered it all.
I'm doing my best. You know, it took me over 2 hours to put this makeup on, and it finally looks almost passable. I am so thrilled. Maybe I can even semi-passable when I go to the doctor tomorrow. The lipstick's a little wonky. The teeth are horrible, but that's because I gotta get them fixed. I look better in 3/4 profile, but then again, I always did. This is not something to talk about when you're. See, this is me. Hardcore radical left politics and extreme obsession with fancy, decadent clothing and makeup. Okay, doesn't make sense. My mother hated one side. If I said I was a communist in school, it was okay with my mom. She thought that was pretty good. But if I wore things that cost a fortune, she would get really mad. And this is very unlike most people's mothers, but I guess in some ways I was lucky. In some ways, no, but in some ways, yeah. It rubbed off, I tell you, the leftism. And she couldn't get rid of the clothes. She got rid of other stuff, but the clothes were never going to go. And so I guess we're done. And this is probably an hour long anyway. And
Yeah, just about.
Yeah, just about.
I'm grateful to anyone who actually watched this. And what we really want to do is, in the end, put together a hangout where everybody can come and talk too. I'm working on it. I don't know how to do it yet, but that's my goal, is to have more discussion from my group, Punks for Bernie, where everybody can talk, not just me and Jamie. Me and Jamie talk every day, pretty much, but I don't talk to anyone else too much, so I would really like that. It would be like being able to leave my house more than I can. A lot of times I have to be, and I cannot, but I enjoy doing this, especially if I could have more people talking to me. And okay, so I guess you want to say goodnight, and I'll say goodnight?
The tree says goodnight.
The tree says good night.
All right. The tree says goodnight, and so does me. I am, I guess, well, what am I? I'm not the tree. I'm not the mouse. I don't know. I don't have anything. I'm the thing with pink lipstick. I'm the mirror there. I love this mirror because the lights. And I am your fearless and overly dressed and very fancy leader of Punks for Bernie. My name is Edie. You guys know me. Thank you for watching or not watching. whichever you like, and I'll send up the unedited versions so you can see it on Facebook. And see ya. Should I put on some music at the end? No, I'll get in trouble. Okay, bye. Where is this thing? Go. I'll call you so we can fix it tomorrow. All right, thank you. Bye.